It is in God, not in men. And you cannot have the audacity to believe God until you have light. For instance, hold on. When you don't have light, and you get into a space and there's no light, it doesn't matter how wide the place is. You keep thinking you're about to eat a stumbling block. You are taking your legs carefully. I might eat a stumbling block. I don't know what this is. I don't know what that is. But once there's light, you have liberty. You have freedom. You move. It is actually when you don't have light that you are mindful of deadlines. It's when you don't have light. When you have light, now look at this. In Exodus chapter number 14, the Israelites stood for the Red Sea. And when they looked, what did they see? You will see in the realm that your light is greater. The realm that they had greater light was physical realm, and it was physical sight. What did they see? They saw the Red Sea. What did they see again? They saw the Egyptians. That's what they saw. But there was more in the spirit. For instance, let's look at what a man who had spiritual eyes saw. Psalms 114 from verse 1. Psalms 114 from verse 1. You saw what they saw in Exodus 14. What did they see? Oh, Egyptians are coming. We're shouting, Pharaoh. Moses, what is this? Is it because there's no grave in Israel, in Egypt? That's why you brought us here to kill us. We are going to. They were seeing death. Although death is a spiritual thing, entity. But a carnal man can see it. In fact, it takes a carnal man to see it. That's where there is an aberration, but we'll get there. When Israel went out of Egypt, the house of Jacob from a people of strange language, yes? Judah became his, capital H, God's dominion. And Israel, became his sanctuary, and Israel is dominion. Look at verse 3. The sea saw it and what? Fled. What is the it? The combination of the God who sat on Israel. The sea already fled, but they didn't have light in that realm. Meaning that you can stand in front of a battle that God has solved and cry. And your tears, because, listen to what I'm saying, because you have not seen it, you will address it in the realm that which you see it. Let me say it again. The realm that you are seeing from, that's the realm you will solve it from. God can finish it. You look at it and say, look at my life now. What is left? What is this? Once you see where God is, you see with his own light, you can never be afraid. Are you what I'm saying? Jesus said, my Father walketh it out, I walk, I do what I see my Father. When you read, look at Acts 10 verse 38, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth with the Holy Ghost and power, who went about doing good. He was going about healing all manner of sicknesses. He was casting out devils. I was able to do that. He was not seeing those problems. He was seeing their solved version. Let me tell you now, you understand what I'm saying? If you sit in front of exam, you are seeing question paper. That is somebody's realm. And that person's realm is that he's seeing solution. So when you hear people, when you listen to people, you will see the realm they are domiciled, the realm that they reside, the physical. My own has finished. Everybody's broken. Well, be careful. Nigerians are very sensitive. Everybody's broke. My name is not everybody. Neither is your name, everybody. You see, you exempt yourself from things you don't want to see manifested in your life. Say it again, I'm a spiritual being. Now, hope you know what we just dealt with is just eyes. And we have not even entered it. Well, let's talk about something else like smell. How powerful is smell in the physical? Very powerful. Very powerful. See, look up. You can detect issues through that smell, through that sense. You can, for instance, I went to see two of my beloved ones, and as we sat down, they switched on their bulb, and we noticed that the wire was burning. But what announced the burning was smell. But because we could perceive the burning pointed us to the fact that there's a fire. So what is spiritual smell? Perception. You see, if you are going to be a prophetic being, you see, look up. How do you say somebody is investigating in Yoruba? They will say, is investigating. It is the pride of a king to conceal a matter. It is the glory of sons to search it out. To search is to know how to sniff around the matter. You saw this morning I woke up with a burden to intercede. Amen. Please be seated. So, look up, everybody. All right? How do you call investigators? No, sit down where you are. Just sit. Come sit. No, sit. All right? In Yoruba, they say they are sniffing. That's the literal interpretation. You call someone who is investigating, who is sniffing. Do you know that in the spirit realm, somebody can stand talking to you, and your spiritual sense of perception is sniffing the real matter? Yes. You can pick that. All right, let me give you an instance. Someone called me years back and then said there's a problem. Some of you must have seen people do this to insult and rubbish ministers online. And then said I should please pray for him and prophesy into his life that there's a problem. There's somebody who is going through this. He wants me to please pray. What's God showing about him? But while he was talking, the Lord said to ask him, I was hearing the name. The Lord said to ask him, who is this so-and-so person? When I asked, and that was totally different from what he was saying. When I asked him of that name, he kept quiet. I said, who is that? He said, that's my dad's younger sister. The Lord said, you are sleeping with that woman. Then he ended the call. You know what they did? They were calling me on a show to fool me. So they will call a random pastor and disgrace him. You, as you are prophesying now, say you are a fake pastor. You see, look at you now. If only you are true, say you would have known. God wanted to show him genuineness beyond genuineness. He exposed him right there. Let me tell you something. If you are not prophetic, you can be assassinated. That's the fact. People will be saying something but mean something different. But your spiritual sense of perception is speaking it. If you live in the physical realm alone, you are above all men most miserable. Because you have no safeguard. There's nothing, no security around your life. You can be called up at any time. Say it again, I'm a spiritual being. Say it again, I'm a spiritual being. Hope you know it is with that sense of perception that you perceive seasons. You just can tell there's a change in my season. You can just tell. People ask me questions. The race is not to the swift, right? Food is not to the wise, battle is not to the strong. But time, and chance. Time and chance. That is, if it is your time, but you can't perceive it, you will miss it. Are you saying? The man by the pool of Bethesda had been there for 38 years. Jesus said to him that, all right, do you want to walk? What did he say? I have no man. The one who is talking to you doesn't need men for you to walk. This is the resurrection and the life. He was going to miss the season because it took him 38 years to accumulate that blame and blame men for the reason why he's there. But Jesus is saying, until you take your eyes off the men and look at me, you won't walk. And all you have to say was, pick your bed and go. Now, let me leave those ones as introduction. Let's get to my teaching. Let me give you a few things. When you say something is supernatural, you are saying this is beyond natural. For instance, if I look at you and I say, be blessed, what have I done? I've given you something supernatural. True? Talk to me. True? That's it. That word, be blessed. The blessing in itself makes men. Okay. For instance, why was Esau called the fornicator? Because he preferred what was in a plate. Jacob said, eat the food, but give me your birthright. What is the birthright? It is the right to be the one standing in for the blessing. Esau said, what is this birthright to me? For I am hungry. So what that means is, please pay attention. You should not, under any pressure in life, exchange the supernatural for something physical. You won't get this job until you sleep with the boss and say, although prophets are going ahead of me, let me just sleep with the boss. There's a great exchange there. And you're about to miss something. You're about to miss something really big. So Esau missed it. And that's not the pattern of the blessing. That's not the life of the blessing. Look at it. Look at Genesis 27 now. What were they fighting about? It was going to be a statement. The right to be the one, to stand here. Anyways, this is Jacob. All right, this is Pastor Jacob. So it is which child? Please come. It's going to be the one to have the right to stand in front of Jacob. Jacob is carrying a blessing that was passed from Abraham to Isaac, then him. Now the question is, Abraham to Isaac. This is Jacob. Stand beside him. So this is Jacob. Both of you face me. This is Jacob and Esau. None of you is Esau. But what they were jostling for is who will have the right. See, listen, who will have the right to stand before Isaac that day, that Isaac will say, what was given to me from Abraham, I give you. That thing cannot be seen. But yet it was the basis of their fight. Are you following what I'm saying? Men who know the way of the spirit battle for supernatural things. That is, you can travel 10 hours on the flight for one impartation. They say, are they sharing money there? It is not money. It is bigger than money. It is an impartation that makes men. Men of the physical, that's why I say that the things of the spirit are foolishness. Please sit down. Listen to what I'm saying. Until carnal people start fighting you, you are not spiritual. Let me say it again. If people who don't know God are not fighting you, you are not manifesting God. Until they begin to fight you, that's when you start manifesting God. Sometimes you know your maturity through your battles. Because the carnal man cannot receive the things of the spirit. They are spiritually discerned. So they will stand in front of Isaac, and Isaac will say, you are blessed with the dew from above. It is birthright. Everybody can give birth. But this is the right to give birth to individuals who will matter in God's move. That, listen to what I'm saying. From the day that blessing is released, Jacob will go to give birth to children. Esau too will go to give birth to children. None of them will be barren. But just that, when you trace David, you trace it to the loin of one. When you trace Isaiah, you trace to the loins of one. When you trace Moses, to the loins of one. When you trace Jesus, it is the right given to you to birth. Meaning that what you have received, even the seed in your loins are now anointed to walk in God's agenda. Listen to what I'm saying. If you walk in the flesh, you can mortgage even your unborn seeds. When Gehazi preferred those clothes, he bought leprosy for children who were not born. They couldn't choose otherwise. That's why men of the spirit understand the power of choice. Hey, are you still with me? They understand the power of what? Choice. Say it again, I'm born of the spirit. Oh my. Say it again, I'm born of the spirit. That something can begin to function in somebody's life because a hand came. That's supernatural. If I say, all right, come. And I say to him, say, come. From today, go on your knees. Now, this is the mistake you make. I say, from today, I'm giving an example. I say, from today, receive the grace to flow in the miraculous. From today, receive the grace to flow in the miraculous. Then you look at yourself and say, I didn't fall down. Maybe I didn't receive it. It is not in falling. Where the word of a king is. Let's go. You can be in this kind of atmosphere and you leave and discover that prayer is no longer a struggle again. Because by the virtue of being in the same atmosphere with people who pray, your own DNA has been altered. Prayerlessness has been taken out. And now you have an ability that you didn't pray for. But you were implicated because you were in the same room with some people. Please sit. One of the grace upon my life is the grace of ease. To do what ought to take effort, effortlessly. You are still blind if you don't know the grace on your own life. Are you there? Yes, so if I say to you, from tonight, receive a fire that can't go out. Do you see physical fire flying? But something is imprinting itself on your spirit. That you just get to a point where you are wondering why discouragement is not taking you out. And you say, I can't tell, but it's as though I came to a season in my life. A word came upon my spirit. And now it is impossible to ever doubt God. I decree tonight. Receive a fire that doesn't go out. Again, I decree. Receive a fire that doesn't go out. Again, I decree. Receive the fire that doesn't go out.